I know the heart of each and every one of you. I know the thoughts you dare not share with anyone, and I am unwavering in my admiration of all that you have endured. The patience and persistence you have shown, the dedication of your life to the greatest revelation of all. There's no better place to start renovating your life than by turning towards your inner being. It holds the entire blueprint of you. It is the all and everything of who you are. So getting to know it is just about one of the best things you can do for yourself. Turning over a new leaf doesn't need to be a drastic revolution where you throw away everything of the old and tear up all your long-held ideals. It can be if you want. The learning of each soul, its individual emotions and its knowledge does not only enrich itself, but takes such impressions to the consciousness of the infinite cosmos. Indeed, every second experienced here while incarnate, the souls sent the records in real time, first to the central library of the Pleiades, and from there to the Creator Source, where everything is processed continuously and indefinitely. Until a few years ago in your earthly time, you were not totally open to understanding the universe and all the universes and the life that flows in each of them through the beings who inhabit them. But recently, the era of revelations is underway. Many humans show and talk about what they have experienced in encounters with many galactic beings. This is how they show you that the universes are all, absolutely all, inhabited by beings of different forms, of course, but that planet Earth is not the only one that is inhabited. Yes, I am aware these may seem like words, maybe even a wonderful ideal, but it is the truth of what you have worked to achieve. The lived, physical experience of yourself as God in form. It is a glorious moment when it emerges from within you, as clear and crisp as a perfect dawn. The warmth of sun's rays speak of a love, a specialness, a perfection so profound you will never be the same again. Once you have experienced your divine essence, you are alchemically transformed forever. Though Jennifer is reluctant to share, I have asked her to outline her experience recently, to provide you with an idea of what you could expect over the next days, weeks and months as the energies expand and you rise up to merge in them. Your inner being is not an individuated part of yourself. It's the collective noun for the multiple aspects of your consciousness that work together and sometimes against one another. It can provide both challenge and comfort on your spiritual journey. Each of these facets requires your attention in its own particular way, and the first stage of understanding the nature of your inner being is becoming aware of exactly how it functions. Your ego comes in for a lot of flack within spiritual and psychology circles, but it's greatly misunderstood by many of those who work with it. That's not to say that it can't be a source of weakness if you don't have it under control. But the ego has far less to answer for than you might think. When people say they need to destroy the ego or exile it from their thought process, I can't help but shake my head. The ego might be responsible for many of our more indulgent tendencies and inflated sense of self, but try living your life without a sense of ego. There are in no way two experiences are the same, for there cannot be two identical consciences, since it all comes down to the way you feel each experience, and each act in this great theater of life. This is the beauty of divine plan for the souls who came here. This is also your contribution to the Creator as you're a part of the plan. This school of souls is also making its transition now, and along with it, many of its students will also often rise in their consciences. A new age is now opening for planet Earth and those who will accompany it in higher dimensions. However, even those who have not attained new Earth frequency will not have their experiences invalidated, since even reproach promotes some kind of learning. The impressions of feeling a failure in this endeavor are also passed on as information and experience to libraries that record everything all the time. It is important to understand that life extends across billions and billions of planets in all the universes. Why, you ask, did we not know and understand this in times past? You could not know and understand it because of the amnesia you have regarding true life. Everything had been done so that you would be innocent beings like little children learning to live, so that at a certain moment you would have the trigger for understanding. The revelations which are currently being made and will become more pronounced in the months and years to come will suffocate many humans who did not believe in life beyond Earth, and perhaps some will still not want to believe in it. The age of revelations is underway. You will sometimes be very surprised by what will be revealed, whether in terms of understanding the universes and, to begin with, your universe, your galaxy, but also revelations concerning humans who want to lead terrestrial humanity. We are always on the lookout for a new perspective, a new approach, a new way of leaning into our work and our ability to perform the work that we have in front of us. We know that there is so much that we still have to discover, and we look forward to each and every droplet of new experience and new knowledge that can come our way. We share everything that we can with you once we make a new discovery, and in our constant observation and study of all of you, we often make new discoveries. We want you to know that these new ways that we have of approaching our assistance to you will not always be apparent to you. But please know that there is an evolution of our consciousness going on, and we pass that on to you. One way we do this is with the words that come through the channel, but the other and more important way is the energetic transmission. The shadow is the part of us that is often confused with and thought of as the ego. But they are two very separate entities from one another. Whereas your ego does serve a wider purpose in your daily life, the shadow self is the saboteur whose only goal is to derail you at every turn. Your shadow self is the voice inside your head that harbors all kinds of grudges, resentment, perverted fantasies, revenge, anger, and fear. Everything your shadow expresses towards you as the conscious observer is the culmination of what you've suppressed and repressed over many years. Your shadow self is simply trying to rid itself of the pain it has experienced. But since you can resolve the emotions of hate, anger, and fear with more of the same, it becomes a feedback loop of negativity. You reading or listening to this message, obviously you are because of the expansion of your consciousness. Otherwise, I wouldn't be interested in this sort of subject. Surely your conscience is already ready for the ascension. However, everything depends on you. It is necessary to understand that there are still some obstacles left, natural in any school. These are the final tests that test which students are fit to move on to the next level. Today's message aims to give you this certainty and security. You are in control, remember this, always. While the veils veiled the truth of who you are, the opposites of the evolution of the souls tried in every possible and imaginable way to hinder this expansion of every human consciousness. But light always overcomes darkness, and for those who trust in His light, nothing and no one can hinder the completion of their walk in the world of trials and redemption. The only weapon still possible and widely used by the non-light is fear. If you vibrate in fear, you will be giving power to those who don't want your rise. This might be your last test in this school. Conquer the fear. This fear is justified, for in all previous incarnations, you have experienced difficult and traumatic situations, and fear has been imbued as soul records. Dear earthly brothers and sisters, we are very happy with what is being prepared for you on your planet. We see your energies and those of the earth amplifying in the light. We see the accentuated radiance of your hearts. Not of all humans, because there are still some who want to continue living in low energies. But we see that human hearts are lighting up more and more and vibrating strongly on the earth. As we have often told you, the end of the period of no love gives rise to bursts of rescue attempts. When we talk about rescue, we mean that the world government, sensing its end very near, is going out of its way to create fear here and there on your planet. These bursts of attempts to save what is their life pushes the media in their pay to amplify fear in all countries on earth. There are those who are very set in their ways and who want things to either stay the same or go back to an earlier time. A time that they perceive to be better than the time you are living in now. But all of that is to be expected on a world where polarity exits. You have hot and cold, up and down, left and right, and so you must have at least two perspectives on everything. It is important to not get attached to these perspectives so that you can let the new ones in. It is important for you to know that you are growing constantly, not only in your spirituality, but also in the way that you are able to perceive reality and in the ways you are able to access ideas, information, and new approaches to living life there on planet Earth. Many of you will refer to these as downloads, or you will recognize that you have channeled something, and some do not, and that is okay. It is perfectly fine for everyone to have their own experience of reality and of their way of perceiving the world. But you are the LightWorkers, the ChangeMakers. You are on the leading edge there, and that is why you respond to us so well. We are bringing you what is bright, shiny, and new in many different ways, and you are taking it and sculpting it into a better world for all humans. And that is why our relationship to you is so special and one that we cherish always. Your inner child is the part of you that represents your innocence. The concept is derived from Carl Jung's personality archetypes and ties in with the functioning of your subconscious mind. It is the connection you maintain to your formative years and can often be the source of unresolved emotional traumas. During childhood, you take on the thoughts and ideas that are imprinted upon you by your parental figures. And as you develop into an adult, much of that information remains intact as the subtle programming that becomes known as your inner child. Working with your inner child is all about establishing the needs that went unmet that include issues of abandonment, emotional neglect, and overt physical abuse. The aim of this work is to let go of your past and cultivate a sense of self-esteem. The great weapon you have and can use in your favor every time is your innate power. You are a conscience, and nothing and no one can imprison it. What they always did and still do is control the human mind. The mind is part of the physical body, and it decays when the body turns to dust. Consciousness is the immortal soul, and it survives incarnation after incarnation. The soul is free by nature. The mind coordinates the experiences only while the soul is in the physical body. And if you are this free conscience, why do you vibrate so much in fear? Because the mind is always being influenced all the time. But now the time has come when you understand this game and can free yourself from it forever. Don't fall into narratives that lower the frequency of your vibration. Don't believe the media because it is paid to spread fear, hatred, and conflicts among human beings. She will never devote herself to the construction of love, peace, and cordiality, because no one pays for that, since it can be won for free.